Tired of getting PK'd? Don't farm in the dungeons. Ooh. Ooh. Let me ask you something. Is that you? A new player trying to scrounge up 40k for your first weapon codex, or maybe your aspect. Or possibly you're a veteran player and you're tired of getting kill stilled by the 30 link Giga Chad that's starting to get some points into his red line. Or possibly even a 4 link backstabber. Then heed my advice, champion. Get out of the 10 basic dungeons and get into the 253 different points of interest that quite a few actually have monsters that you can kill at a very, very profitable rate. Wait, did you say farming in the wilderness?
Huh?
Yeah, I sure did. So with that, guys, sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk about it. I've always found it funny. The biggest complaint to people playing Outlands is how crowded the dungeons are, or how they got PK'd 2 times in a 4-hour gaming session, how a thief ran by and stole their rope as they were fighting a monster, and that's just totally unfair. Reel it in, pump. That's a different video. What if I told you though that there were other places to farm? What if I told you that there were almost 253 of them, spread throughout the vast world of Abaddon, and that most of them were free from being farmed day in and day out? That of these 253, they ranged in difficulty from someone just leaving shelter, all the way to high chain and aspect. That's right, get out there and explore. Get away from the beaten path and find the points of interest that suit you. The beauty of farming in the wilderness is vast. For starters, the ability to recall away instantly if a red shows up on your screen or your tracking radar is just unparalleled. And speaking of tracking, if for some reason you have 120 tracking, that's 116 tiles you can see a red coming. Unless he recalls right on top of you, you are out of there long before he even makes it on your screen. To put into perspective of how far 116 tiles is, here's my boathouse. 116 tiles is on the other side of the mountain. That's so crazy. It's very far. Another thing, the ability to fill your bags with loot, once again, instantly recalling out once that happens, and then putting your loot away, then restocking and recalling back right into the action. That's right, no more time wasted running down into the dungeon and running out. Running from Aegis entrance to Aegis 3 just before the main boss was just under 2 minutes. It'd be another 30 to 45 seconds if we went to Aegis 4. Then we have to run back to the gate from wherever we were farming in the dungeon. Recalling to my boathouse, however, and putting stuff up and recalling back is less than 30 seconds, and I think I'm overestimating that time. This one is funny. Correct me, thieves, if I'm wrong, but thieves don't go steal in the wilderness. I say that, someone's gonna prove me wrong, and I'm not talking about you jerk harvester stealers. Don't quit stealing wood and ingots, damn it. Something I've actually done is I've made a rune book to my favorite farming locations. If one's being farmed currently, it's easy just to move on to the next. Now, let me be frank. Is it possible to be PK'd in the wilderness? Of course it is. I have a demon spawn rune tome that oftentimes is frequented by PKs. The trick is finding different points of interest and learning which ones are frequented often and which aren't. One big downside of the wilderness is exactly one of its upsides. There aren't many people doing it. There are literally hundreds of places to farm, so it's very spread out. This does, however, cause for you running through the same mundane monster killing circle over and over again until you become a hamster running on its wheel. Basically, I'm saying it gets boring very quickly. There's something magical about seeing other people there that while you're killing monsters. It keeps the game interesting. Otherwise, it feels like a slower version of Diablo or Path of Exile. If you do, however, die, there's all these wandering healers that really aren't too far from you, and it's very easy just to make a quick trek over there and run back and usually get your stuff at ease. You don't have to worry about getting looted quite as much. That being said, I found that once again, mixing things up keeps it interesting. If you want some chill farming without the penalty of going to Sanctuary, having some favorite wilderness spawns is the right answer. Typically, I do a dungeon society or 2, and then I focus on some different wilderness spawns each week. This keeps my scenery changing as well as those giving me a chance to get in random skirmishes in the dungeons when I see some action. That said, I will be honest, I also tend to bully off people who frequent my wilderness spawns. Since it's rare people go to them, flagging gray, you don't really have much of a chance of being attacked by a horde of blues, and it's relatively easy to get away if you need to run. I hope they buff dungeons in the future, maybe drop some clothing that can only be found in the dungeon and it's blessed, like the necklace in Aegis 4. I'd suggest even making level 3 and 4 of the dungeons on par with time levels 1 and 2. Make Wilderness the solo farming, and maybe levels 1 and 2 of dungeons much more difficult where Aegis 3 and 4 are now. I don't know, and maybe the dungeons deep down is group farming and very rewarding. These are just hip shots of ideas. Post in the comments below your suggestions of maybe some ways to combat that or balance it or even it out or what have you. As you can see, guys, there's tons and tons of reasons why you should be farming in the wilderness, and maybe the dungeons really shouldn't be quite as packed as they are right now. Shout out to the Patreons, the channel members, and you for liking this video, as it helps for discoverability for myself, but more importantly, UO Outlands and my fellow content creators and streamers. I appreciate each and every one of you, and do me a favor, comment below the next type of video that you'd like to see me do, as I like to do videos that are suggested. Make sure and come by the live streams most evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, and Facebook. That's right, 5 different platforms for you to choose from. I'll see you guys next week. Pwn Star Gaming out.